pause the action.
All right, here's your Unit 6 summative review. Actually, it's Unit 10. It was Unit 6 last year, so we should cross that out and put 10. All right, so your domain is all the x values. I'm going to put x there. Range is all the y values. So x values, take all those. So I got -6, 2, -7, and 1. Range values, all the y's. So I got 2, 3, 9, -5. 2, 3, 9, -5. All right. Now we got to find the range of f of x if it's -3x plus 8 for the domain of -2, 4, 6, and 8. So I got to figure out what is the function when evaluated at all of those values. So I got f of 2, f of 4, f of 6, and f of 8. Wow, look at that. I got all the answers. So now I've got answers of 14, -4, -10, and -16. Those are all in the range. All right. And then the last one on this page, number 3, is... All right, so set of ordered pairs. I got -8, -6. I got -2, -6. I got 6, -6. And I got 9, -6. So is this a relation or a function? Well, I got to look at, do I have every input going to one output? And yes, I do. So yes, this is a function. I don't have more than one arrow. I have one arrow coming from each number in the domain. If there were 2, that would make it not a function. All right, number 4, is this graph a function? Yes, it is. It passes the vertical line test. Number 5, is the following relation a function? Well, I look at all the inputs. I notice I've got 2 4s here, and they go to 2 different outputs. So no, because 4 has 2 outputs. And then number 6, is the following relation a function? Right answers in complete sentences. I look at inputs 0, -4, -7, and 3. Those are all different. Yes, that is a function. All right, in 2009, Bellevue West basketball team scored 72 points in their first game and 63 in their second game. So I want to look at just that alone. Bellevue West scores 42 and 54, 72 and 63, 63, 72, and 63, 72. But in the question they said they scored 72 points in their first game. So then I look at the first game. Well, the only matrix that's got 72 in the first game is option C. So C is the correct choice. I'm going to use process of elimination to answer number 8. I notice that A and B both have a 0 in that first frequency interval, whereas these have a 4 and a 1. So I'm going to count how many numbers in that list are between 0 and 9. I don't see any numbers in that list between 0 and 9. So that means I can eliminate B and D as possible answers. And then I look at the difference between options A and C, and I notice in the 20 to 29 range, this one has 1 and this one has 2. So I look at this list, how many numbers are between 20 and 29. So if I zoom in real quick, I'm looking at numbers between 20 and 29. I got 25 here, and I've got, looks like that's the only one. So then my answer is going to be choice A. All right, number 9, the data below shows the number of games won by a football team. So again, I'm going to use process of elimination to narrow this down. So I'm looking at the first interval from 0 to 4. And I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers between 0 and 4. So that means it's not C and it's not D. And so then I'm going to look at 10 to 14. There are 1, 2, 3 numbers, so that means the correct choice is A. Number 10, remember the difference between skew left and skew right. If I drop a ball, where does the ball fall? Does it go down to the left or to the right? So on number 10, if I dropped a ball here, this would end up going down to the left, so this is skewed left. 11, though, if I were to draw a line down the middle, it's almost a reflection of the other side, so that is going to be symmetric. And 12, which choice is the correct box and whisker plot? Look at the difference between these. They all have the same minimum, the same maximum, but they have different quartile 3s, so I need to find quartile 3 of this list. So I'm going to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So I got 10, 14, 16, 22, nope, 21, 22, 22, 25, and 27. Quartile 3, so let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. So there's the median. Quartile 3 is going to be 23.5. So I'm looking at these. Looks like 23.5 would be here or here. So then the difference between these two would be the difference of quartile 1 is 15, or is it 12.5? So I look at my list. Looks like quartile 1 is 15, so that means option C is correct. And then number 13, since we talked about this one in class, the smaller box means that team A is going to be more consistent because 50%, half that team, is represented by that box. So half that team is a tighter grouping than it was on team B. And question 14, based on the graph in question 13, what is the minimum score necessary to be in the top 25% of the team? Remember, top 25% of the team, if it's talking about race times, you want a faster time, so it's a lower number. Correct option is D. And now we're going to have somebody else take over for 15 here, finding whether or not these are qualitative or quantitative.
Hey guys, this is Kyla, aka the K-Way, and I'm just gonna go over numbers 15 and 16. Number 15, it says the number of trees in the Fontenelle forest. Is it A, qualitative, or B, quantitative? Well, the way I distinguish it is qualitative, it can't be measured, and then quantitative, I like to think of quantity because that can be measured by numbers. And so this answer to this one would be B, quantitative. And then the second part of that says favorite restaurants in Omaha. So this, if you look at it, it can't be measured because it's your favorite restaurants. So that will be qualitative. All right, and then number 16, it says you want to find how many students use public transportation. So you interview every fifth teenager you see exiting a movie theater. Is it A, random, B, systematic, C, stratified, or D, none of these? Well, remember random is like if you pull names out of a hat, and stratified is when you split people up into groups. None of these is obviously none of the above. And then B, it would be B, systematic, because you're counting or interviewing every fifth teenager or every so many place of a person, so that is B. Alrighty, I'm out of here, y'all, so I will talk to y'all later, and have fun with Mr. Ison going over number 17.
Alright, so I already graphed this line on 17. I'm just going to show you how to find the equation now. So first we got to find slope, which is going to be 120 minus 160 over 13 minus 17, which would give me negative 40 over negative 4, so my slope is 10. And then I use one of those slopes and one of those points in the slope to find the b value, or the y-intercept. So I got 160 equals 10 times 17 plus b. So 160 equals 170 plus b. Subtract 170. Get b is negative 10. So then my equation in slope-intercept form is y equals 10x minus 10.
Got it.
Number of hours spent studying for a test and your test grade. If you've made a quick chart of studying and your grade, if you spent not a lot of time studying, you would get a pretty low grade. But as you spend more time studying, you'll get even a higher grade. So this is going to be trending up, which would be a positive correlation. All right, find mean, median, mode, and range. Mean, you end up getting 1709. And then when you add them all up, I'm going to divide that by 22 possible numbers. So I end up getting 77, and then round it to the nearest tenth, 77.7. Median is 75, the middle number. Mode is also 75, the most frequent number in occurring in that list. The range, I would take the largest number, 98, subtract the smallest, 66, and get a range of 32. And this last one, the setup, is you take all of your scores, add x, your fifth test, and then start to solve for x. When you divide that by 5, set it equal to 80. So 5, multiplied on both sides, makes this 310 plus x equals 400. And then subtract 310 and get your fifth test should be a 90. For 20, don't forget to add 3 to all of these numbers right there, so you end up with this list. So your median is 16, range is 10, the mode is 13, and the mean is 16.7. And this last one, if I'm going to order them from least to greatest, and then find the median, which would be in between 18 and 9 here. So add 18 and 9, get 27, divided by 2, get 13.5. Minimum's 4, maximum's 20. And then in between 18 and 20 is quartile 3, which is 19. And in between 4 and 9 is quartile 1, which would be 6.5.